Hello YouTube, welcome back to a brand new video where we will be disassembling the Tactical Force 6XP CO2 Blowback airsoft pistol. So what you want to do first is obviously take the pistol mag out of the gun, and second, you're going to want to make sure you have no CO2 left inside your gun. That is very, very important, because it'll make it less likely to jam, and if you do get it out, it will prevent it from firing and hurting you and or the gun itself. The third step you want to do is take something like a pen and go to the side of the gun that has the safety on it. And you're going to want to push the pins slightly out and use something like pliers to pull them out of your gun. The first pin is at the bottom of the magwell. The second pin is at the back and bottom of the slide. And the third pin is right in front of the trigger guard. I've already taken this gun apart, so it's going to make it easy for me to take the pins out. When you put this gun back together, the bottom magazine pin, the magwell, it's going to be pretty stubborn. It's stubborn with me, don't know why, but as long as you get it out, that's all that matters. So you're going to want to take the third pin out, and these are slightly magnetic, so they will hold on to the pliers. Alright, so now that you have the gun taken apart, excuse me, my camera's moving just a little bit, there we go. You're going to want to rack your slide back, grab it by the back here of the slide, and pull up just a little bit until you feel it release. Then you're going to guide it back forward, being careful not to catch anything inside your gun. So let me put it back, slide down. Alright, so you're going to push the slide back, reach back, grab, pull up, and jostle it to the left and right a little bit, and it will pull up and keep it up in this position and slide it forward so it doesn't catch on anything inside the gun. Right here is your the seal that keeps your CO2 inside the gun when it blows back, and that's the only piece inside that mag slide. Second, what you're going to want to do is open up your CO2 hatch right back here and begin to slowly jostle the inner workings of your gun out of the handle. What I would recommend is grabbing it right here by the barrel and just pushing it down, and that will free it up. And as you notice here, this piece of the gun where the CO2 goes starts to move backwards. That's a good thing. One big thing you have to notice first is that your slide catch, and on the other side your safety and fire switch, will fall out. So start with one side and just pull up slightly. Once you get the gun free, just simply pick up your slide catch and put it aside and don't lose it, and pull your gun out of the frame. Then when you look into the when you look into the frame, you'll see that the fire safety piece is still in there. Don't lose it, because it will be a big pain to keep it on fire and safety. Because of all the action that happens, it'll just jostle it back and forth. You need this piece. Don't lose it. So now that you have everything emptied from the frame, you just put the frame aside, and then here we have the inner workings of your CO2 pistol. You got your trigger right here. It's actually quite complex how this works. So the CO2 enters here. Whenever you pull the trigger, it opens a piston here and here. And when you pull the trigger, it puts CO2 into the barrel and CO2 behind here. And that is what blows your gun back and forth every time you pull the trigger. So what you're going to want to do is you want to grab your oil. Grab the recommended oil that it comes with the gun. I don't know the specific name for it. I forgot about that. Sorry, but if you look online for recommended oil for the Tactical Force 6XP, it will definitely pop up. So what you're going to want to do is just get a good amount of oil right into that trigger piece, that hole in between the safety switch and the trigger. You just want to put a good amount of oil in there. And this piece right here where the magazine goes, this does not need to be oiled. It's got a very high amount of grease from the manufacturer, so it does not have to be oiled. Another piece that has to be oiled is, you see when you pull the trigger, this piece right here moves forward and backward, and it shoots backwards. You're going to want to put a little bit of oil right on this spring here because it's on a piston, and when you pull it forward, go as far as you can before it shoots back. So get right about there before it shoots back, and just put a couple drops of oil in there and just pull the trigger a few times. So once you have that all oiled up, one thing you also want to oil is your CO2 lock-in. And once you have that all oiled, again, fired a couple times, then you're going to put it back together. So first step is just to open your CO2 hatch, lock it in place, and then start to feed your gun back into the frame. I should mention before you do that, obviously you want to put your fire safety piece back in. You're going to want to put it with the end facing out and these two bottom pieces facing downward. So it'll go in like this. You can see. Make sure that you can see. Like this. And you just want to get it right in there and put it all the way to the left where it's in the fire position, and make sure that your safety on the actual gun is in the fire position. Then you're going to want to feed it back into your gun, and I would recommend going in through here and then popping it outside of your grip like this, and just start to push it down. And you're going to want to align, sorry this is out of camera, but you're going to want to align your safety piece here with the safety piece here and hold it downwards like this, and just look up at it and try and fit it into place. This may take you a few times, but make sure you do it right, or else your gun will not look right at all. So once you pop that into, try to align it first, and when you think you have it aligned, flip it over to the other side and take your slide catch and put it on this metal ring here, and there's another little metal nub right here. That is where that goes inside this hole in the metal. So you're gonna go there and align it with that, and just move it up and down. Oops. Move it up and down. Make sure you have it aligned. Just make sure it stops, it catches. And then you're gonna just ever so carefully try and push your gun back into the frame, being mindful of the safety and fire. So you give it a good little push. Yeah, here we go. So my safety latch popped back out of place. So you gotta pull it up just a little bit, just the slightest a bit, and use your pen and find the safety piece and flip it back so that it'll line with the plastic piece that is the fire safety. And again, you're gonna wanna have to put it up high and look at it from below like this, and then just bring it up and look at it from underneath, and make sure that you align it right into the notch, and your gun should fall back into place. Unfortunately, I couldn't show you that on camera, but I think you understand the gist of it. Make sure that your slide catcher is staying in place. Move it up and down a few times. And then what you can do is you can just close your CO2 hatch, and then you're going to put your slide back on. So what you're going to start with is your orange tip is just feed it right into the barrel and just follow it up by pulling it all the way back. It should click down. Let me do that again. Go down, like put some pressure on it before you get there until it clicks down. I've already opened this, so it will this isn't going to click down. And you're going to push your slide all the way forward and just rack it once or twice. It's going to be a little bit sticky because you don't have the pins in the frame, but just make sure it moves smoothly. And you also want to check your safety catch, your slide catch, sorry about that, and check your fire and safety piece and see if it works. In this case it does, so all we have to do is just put the pins back in the gun. Now, do not oil these pins. That is a very big no-no, because if you put the pins in with the oil, they'll just fall right out, and that is not good. So you're just going to put your pins back in. You're going to want to hold this gun upside down because there's a metal piece that goes here that blocks it, and so you might have some problems with that, but you just hold it upside down, push it in, and then use something metal and give it a few taps, or you can just use some brute force and push it in. Mine's being a little bit stubborn, but that's okay at the moment. Then you're going to find your second pin, push it through, and tap it in. Sorry, this might be off camera. And your third pin at the bottom of the mag well, which is going to be pretty stubborn, or in this case it's not, fortunately. You're just going to push that back in, and then you, again, with the metal, try and force it back into your pin hole. There we go. You might have to use some brute force, but that's okay because the frame is polymer and the pins are steel. So once you have that put together, you can rack your slide a few times. Again, check the safety and the fire and your slide catch and see if it catches. And use an empty mag, put it in your gun, and then rack the slide back and see if it catches. Want to do that 2 or 3 times. And then once you're done, you can just open up the CO2 well by taking out your mag and putting a new CO2 in and twisting it up. Unfortunately, this gun has broken seals, so I have to purchase a new one, but that's not a problem. So just once you've done that, you are good to go. Oh, actually, another thing you want to oil, you just want to put a little bit right in front on both sides where the slide meets, and just crank it back a few times to get it nice and oiled up so that you don't have a lot of friction between that, so you get the full effect of the blowback. And I believe that is everything. Thank you for watching. Click that subscribe button, like. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments, and I will see you on the next video.